Slow English Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey everyone. Before we jump into today's episode, we have something really special to share with you, especially if you're learning English.
Yes. So many of you have commented things like, I can understand English, but fast conversations are really hard. And you're absolutely right. For beginner English learners, slow English listening practice is so important.
That's why we've created a brand new series. It's called the Slow English Podcast Series, perfect for English listening and speaking practice. You'll hear clear, slow English, real-life stories, and natural expressions used in a way that's easy to follow.
This series will be uploaded once every week, and it's designed for English beginners who want to improve listening skills, understand pronunciation better, and speak more naturally, without stress.
And don't worry, you're still getting our regular episodes every Monday. This new series is simply an extra tool to help you grow faster and feel more confident.
On board, we've got a wonderful team of calm, slow speakers, like Sophia, Crystal, and Daniel, who are all here to help you learn English naturally, one relaxing episode at a time.
So if you ever feel overwhelmed by fast English, just tune into this. This podcast is your calm corner for real-life English stories, spoken slowly, with love and clarity.
All right, that's the big news. Now, let's pass the mic to Sophia, who's ready to guide you through today's episode of the Slow English Podcast Series.
Hey everyone! Welcome to the Slow English Podcast Series, where we help you learn English at your pace, with real stories, soft words, and deep comfort. I'm Sophia, and today, let me tell you something that happened not too long ago. One evening, a friend of mine, her name is Lucia, came over. She's been learning English for about 1 year now. She's kind, thoughtful, and usually very talkative. Lucia and we speak the same first language, Spanish. We've known each other for many years. That evening, we made tea, sat on the couch, and started talking in Spanish. And, she was full of energy, telling stories about work, about her weekend trip, even a funny thing her cat did that morning. She laughed easily. She spoke fast, with big hand movements and sparkle in her eyes. But the moment I switched to English, everything changed. She started fumbling. Her eyes looked down. She paused, repeated herself. She smiled, but not the same way. Her hands stopped moving. Her voice became soft, and instead of full sentences, she started saying things like,
wait, how to say this?
Or,
I'm sorry, my English is bad.
Even though it wasn't, I looked at her, and I could feel it. Her whole energy had changed. In Spanish, she was herself. In English, it was like a wall had appeared between her thoughts and her words. And then, after a few minutes, she sighed. She looked at me and said something that stayed in my heart. Sophia, I understand English. I really do. But when I try to speak, my mouth just doesn't work. That moment, it was quiet, but powerful. And I knew she wasn't the only one. So many of you listening right now. You feel this too, don't you? You understand English. You watch English shows. You even think in English sometimes. But speaking, it feels hard, like your voice is stuck behind a closed door. Today, we're going to talk about why that happens and how to gently open that door. No pressure, no shame, just calm steps and kind understanding. Because your voice, it's in there, and we're going to help you bring it out. Softly, slowly, together. So, why does this happen? Why can you understand English but still feel blocked when it's time to speak? Let's take a breath together and start with something simple. You're not broken. You're not bad at English. You're not lazy. You're just human. You see, listening and speaking are two very different skills. Listening is soft, quiet, private. You can listen alone. You can pause, rewind, think. But speaking is active. You need to choose words, move your mouth, use your voice, and most of all, you feel watched. That's why many learners, maybe even you, feel confident in your head, but stuck in your mouth. It's not about knowledge, it's about confidence. And confidence doesn't come first. It comes later, after practice, after mistakes, after trying again and again. Let me gently tell you something. If your mouth feels frozen, it's not because you don't know the words. It's because your brain is still protecting you from fear. Fear of sounding wrong, fear of judgment, fear of failure. But here's the truth. You don't need perfect English to speak. You need brave English. English that tries. English that sounds a little shaky, but keeps going. Just like a baby. Learning to walk. They fall, they wobble, but no one says stop trying. We smile and say, come on, one more step. That's how we need to treat ourselves when learning to speak. And today, I want you to take that first small step. Just one. Maybe repeat a phrase from this podcast. Say it slowly, out loud. Even whisper it. That's still a step. Because every time you use your voice, even softly, your brain learns, oh, we're safe. We're allowed to speak now. Little by little, your mouth and your mind, they start working together, and someday soon, you'll tell your own story in English with your own voice. Now that you understand why speaking feels hard, let's talk about how to make it feel easier. Here's one powerful method. It's called shadowing. Shadowing simply means listening to someone speak and then repeating what they say, just like a shadow. You don't need to think too much. You don't need to create new sentences. You just follow, like a gentle echo. Start with short sentences. Maybe something like, I'm learning English slowly but surely, or I can speak. I just need to try. Say it after me. I can speak. I just need to try. Again. I can speak. I just need to try. Even one sentence, repeated daily, starts building muscle memory. Your tongue, your jaw, your breath, they all learn how to speak English. And here's a beautiful secret. You don't need to speak loudly. Even whispering helps. Even mouthing the words silently still counts. Because your brain and your body, they're learning to work together. Shadowing is not just practice, it's permission. Permission to be slow, to repeat, to sound unsure, and still keep going. So every day, maybe for 5 minutes, choose a podcast or a short video like this one. And shadow it, not once, but again and again. Just like how we learned to sing songs as children. That's how fluency is built, not by speed, but by repetition. Let's move on gently to another soft and powerful tip. Talk to yourself. Yes, really. Talk to yourself in English, even if no one's listening. You can do this while cooking, while walking, even while brushing your teeth. Simple things like, I'm cutting vegetables, or I need to clean this room, or I'm tired, but I'll keep going. Speak your thoughts. Turn your life into your language practice. Because speaking English isn't only for exams or interviews. It's for you, your daily life, your daily voice. The more you speak, the less strange it feels. And slowly, English becomes your friend, not your fear. Now, let's talk about something deeper. Not grammar, not vocabulary. Let's talk about confidence. Because even if you know the words, even if you've practiced, if your heart is scared, your mouth won't speak. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. Brick by brick, moment by moment. So how do we build it? Let me share a small secret. Start speaking before you're ready. Yes. Even if your voice shakes, even if your sentences aren't perfect. Because perfection, it's not the goal. Progress is. You don't need big words. You just need brave ones. Say, I don't know the word, but I'll try. Say, my English isn't perfect, but I want to learn. When you say that out loud, you take back your power. You stop hiding and start shining. Every time you speak, even one line, you tell your brain, I'm safe. I can do this. And your brain listens. Over time, it calms down. It stops seeing English as danger and starts seeing it as a new path. So, speak in safe spaces first. Talk to a friend who supports you. Join a small online group. Record your voice and listen back, not to judge, but to cheer yourself on. That's how real confidence is built. Not in one day, but in one soft step, followed by another. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to show up anyway. And when you do, your voice finds its rhythm. Your sentences find their shape. And English becomes a part of you. Let's move a little deeper now into something that many people forget when learning English. Emotion. Because language isn't just about words. It's about feeling. Think about how you speak in your first language. When you're happy, your voice rises. When you're sad, your words slow down. When you're excited, your hands move, your face lights up. That emotion, it gives your words life. But when we speak in a new language, we often go flat. We focus only on grammar, vocabulary, rules, and we forget to feel. So here's a soft challenge for you. Bring emotion back into your English. When you talk about your day, don't just say, I went to work. Say, I was tired, but I still showed up. Or, my manager smiled at me today, and it made me feel seen. Feel the words. Let your face express. Let your voice carry your emotions. Even if the sentence is simple. Because when you feel what you say, your brain remembers it better. And your listener connects with you more deeply. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. Even if you say just one small thing, if it's full of feeling, it becomes powerful. So far, we've talked about gentle steps, listening more than once, speaking to yourself, building quiet confidence, and connecting your feelings to your words. All of these are soft practices. You don't need hours. You just need presence. And remember, Even one sentence, spoken with care, is a step forward. So don't rush. Don't compare. Just keep returning to your voice, to your pace, to your quiet strength. And when the world feels fast, you can always come back here to slow English, to soft stories, to gentle practice. I'm Sophia, and this is your space to grow, to speak, and to feel understood. See you next week, lovely listener. Take care of your voice. It's ready when you are.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of English Leap Podcast, your leap to fluent English. I'm Jennifer, and joining me is my co-host, Daniel.
Hi everyone, we're so glad you're here with us today. We've got some amazing news to kick things off. We've reached 50,000 subscribers in a remarkably short time. We're absolutely blown away by how quickly our community has grown, and we couldn't be more thrilled. Your comments, likes, and shares keep us motivated every day, and we're so grateful for this incredible support.
Absolutely. Seeing so many of you committed to improving your English is truly inspiring. It's your enthusiasm that drives us to keep creating content that helps you learn and grow. But we've also noticed a few comments where some of you seem a bit discouraged, like you're struggling to keep up or wondering if you'll ever get the hang of English.
Yes, and if that's you, this episode might just be the motivation you need. We're going to share a technique that can make a real difference in your learning journey, one that grows gradually over time.
Learning a language is like planting a seed. It doesn't grow overnight, but if you keep watering it, one day you'll look back and see a beautiful tree. So, keep watering your English, even if it feels slow sometimes. You're making progress.
That's right. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Every word you learn, every sentence you try to say, it all counts. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it feels like you're just taking tiny steps. Those small steps will eventually add up to something big.
Now, speaking of progress, wouldn't it be great if there was a way to make learning English feel effortless? Like an approach so simple that it almost feels like you're not studying at all.
Well, today we're going to show you exactly that. We'll talk about a method that's not only easy but also enjoyable, making English a natural part of your daily life. It's a technique that feels more like having fun than learning, and you'll be surprised at how effective it is.
It's like learning English without even realizing it, where it happens naturally, just like how you learned your first language. Stick around to find out how to make this approach work for you.
Before we get too deep, don't forget, we have a free PDF for you with all the key points from today's episode. You can download it in the description below. It's a great way to follow along or review later, especially if you want to remember the main takeaways.
All right, we've kept you guessing long enough. Today, we're going to talk about the power of unconscious learning and how you can become fluent without stressing over grammar.
Exactly. This is about learning in a way that feels natural. We've got some great tips and stories lined up, so stick with us.
Okay, so let's dive into what unconscious learning really is. Simply put, unconscious learning happens when you learn something without actively thinking about it. It's like how you don't need to think about every step when you walk or when you drive a car. You just do it. The same applies to learning English.
That's right. It's like how you learned your native language. When you were a child, you didn't study grammar rules or memorize lists of vocabulary. You just listened to the people around you, and your brain picked up the patterns automatically. Before you knew it, you were speaking fluently without thinking about grammar at all.
Yes, and that's how you want to approach learning English. Think about when you have a conversation in your native language. You're not worrying about whether your sentence structure is perfect. You just speak. That's because your brain has developed unconscious knowledge of the language over time.
And this unconscious knowledge is like a superpower. When you have it, you don't have to pause and think, wait, is this sentence grammatically correct? You just talk.
Let's go back to the bike example for a minute. When you first start learning to ride a bike, you're thinking about balancing, pedaling, steering, and making sure you don't fall. But after a few weeks of practice, something amazing happens. You just get on the bike and go. You're not thinking about balance anymore. It becomes second nature.
Exactly. Another great example is playing a musical instrument. When I started learning guitar, I had to focus on where to place my fingers on the strings. But after practicing for a while, my hands knew what to do on their own. I could even have a conversation while playing because it became automatic.
And that's what we want to achieve with English, making it automatic so that when you're in a conversation, you're not stressing about grammar or vocabulary. You're just talking naturally, like you would in your first language.
Now, let's talk about why focusing only on conscious learning, like studying grammar and memorizing rules, can slow you down. Jennifer, you've probably seen this happen with English learners, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen students who know all the grammar rules but still struggle to speak fluently because they're too focused on getting everything perfect. It's like trying to have a conversation while reading a manual at the same time. It doesn't work in real-life situations.
Exactly. It's like when you're in a conversation and you're constantly thinking, should I use past tense here? What about this preposition? By the time you figure it out, the moment's gone and the conversation has moved on.
And that's the key difference. Conscious learning can help you understand the rules of English, but it won't help you use them automatically when you're speaking. That's where unconscious learning comes in.
So, how does unconscious learning actually happen? It's all about exposure and repetition. Just like you learn to speak your first language by listening to your parents and friends, you can build unconscious knowledge of English by surrounding yourself with the language. The more you listen, the more your brain absorbs it without you even realizing it.
Exactly. Think of it like this. When you're watching an English movie or listening to a podcast, your goal isn't to learn English. It's to enjoy the content. But in the background, your brain is learning the patterns of the language, how sentences are structured, how words are pronounced, and so on.
It's like your brain is doing the homework for you while you sit back and relax. Who wouldn't want that?
Yes, exactly. And over time, this unconscious learning starts to build up. You'll notice that certain phrases and words just come to you naturally without having to think about them.
Now, there are two methods you can use to build this unconscious knowledge. The first is listening, lots and lots of listening. The second is input-driven practice, where you take what you've learned from listening and start using it in conversations.
When I was learning French, I found that listening to French podcasts helped me so much. I wasn't trying to memorize anything. I was just enjoying the content. And after a while, I started recognizing common phrases and sentence patterns. I could use them in conversations without even thinking about it.
Yes, that's the beauty of listening. Your brain is picking up on all these little details that you're not even aware of, and they come out naturally when you speak. So the more you listen, the better you'll get at speaking.
And the best part is, you can do this anywhere. You don't need to set aside hours of study time. You can listen to English while doing other things, while commuting, exercising, cooking, or even just relaxing.
Yeah, I like to listen to podcasts while I'm doing chores. It makes the time go by faster, and I'm learning English without even realizing it. It's like a win-win.
Exactly. And if you make it a habit, listening for even 15 or 20 minutes a day, you'll start seeing big improvements in your fluency over time. The key is consistency.
So that's a wrap for today's conversation. We hope you picked up some useful tips along the way.
Totally. But before we go, let's turn it over to Charlotte for our vocabulary spotlight. She'll take you through some key words, phrases, and idioms from today's episode.
Yep, Charlotte's got you covered. She'll break it all down so you can leave with some fresh vocabulary ready to use.
Thanks, Jennifer and Daniel.
Hey everyone, let's go over some of the important words and phrases we talked about today. I'll explain what they mean and show you how to use them in real conversations. Remarkably, meaning in a way that is worthy of attention, surprisingly or unusually. Example, the team remarkably finished the project in half the expected time. Blown away, meaning to be extremely impressed or surprised by something. Example, I was blown away by how quickly she learned to speak English. Thrilled, meaning extremely happy or excited. Example, he was thrilled to receive an invitation to the event. Incredible, meaning difficult to believe, amazing. Example, the view from the top of the mountain was incredible. Committed, meaning dedicated to a cause or activity. Example, she is committed to improving her English skills every day. Discouraged, meaning feeling less confident or enthusiastic about something. Example, he felt discouraged after failing the test, but he decided to try again. Journey, meaning the process of traveling from one place to another, often used metaphorically to describe progress. Example, learning a language is a long journey, but the rewards are worth it. Frustrated, meaning feeling upset or annoyed because you cannot achieve something. Example, she felt frustrated when she couldn't understand the grammar rules. Effortless, meaning requiring no physical or mental exertion, very easy. Example, his dance moves looked effortless, but they took years of practice. Naturally, meaning in a way that is easy and does not involve effort. Example, she naturally picked up the accent while living abroad. Motivated, meaning having a strong reason to act or accomplish something. Example, he felt motivated to study harder after seeing his progress. Exposure, meaning being introduced to or coming into contact with something. Example, exposure to different cultures can help you learn a new language faster. Repetition, meaning the action of repeating something that has already been said or done. Example, repetition is key to remembering new vocabulary. Structure, meaning the arrangement or organization of something. Example, the structure of the sentence made it difficult to understand. Fluently, meaning to speak a language smoothly and with ease. Example, after years of practice, she could speak French fluently. Conscious, meaning aware of and responding to one's surroundings, deliberate. Example, he made a conscious effort to speak more clearly. Memorize, meaning to learn something so well that you can remember it exactly. Example, she had to memorize a list of vocabulary words for the exam. Automatic, meaning working by itself without human control, done without thinking. Example, over time, using English became automatic for him. Consistently, meaning in a way that does not change, regularly. Example, he practiced speaking English consistently, which helped him improve. Inspiring, meaning making someone feel enthusiastic or excited about something. Example, her speech was so inspiring that it motivated many people to volunteer. And that's it for today's vocabulary review. I hope these new words were helpful, and I'm sure you're excited to start using them in your English conversations.
Thanks, Charlotte. That was super helpful, as always.
Yes, thank you, Charlotte. Remember, building your vocabulary step by step is a great way to level up your English.
So, to sum it all up, unconscious learning is the key to speaking English fluently and naturally. It's all about building that automatic knowledge through exposure and practice. The more you listen and use English in real situations, the more it will start to flow naturally.
Exactly. And remember, this is a process that takes time, so don't rush it. Just enjoy the journey, surround yourself with English, and let your brain do the work in the background. You'll be surprised at how much progress you'll make without even realizing it.
And don't forget to grab the PDF with all these tips. It's a great way to keep everything handy as you practice.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep leaping towards your English goals.
And we'll see you next time on English Leap Podcast. Take care and happy learning.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey everyone, welcome back to your very own English podcast, the English Leap Podcast, helping you learn English and grow with real meaningful conversations. I'm Erin.
And I'm Evan. And today, we're getting into something deep. Something that messes with all of us, no matter where we are in life.
Thoughts. That voice in your head that just won't shut up sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That voice that replays every awkward thing you've ever said. Reminds you of every fear, every failure, even when you're just trying to relax.
Right? You're lying in bed, comfortable, calm, and suddenly your mind starts spiraling. One thought turns into 10, then 20, and you're left thinking, why can't I just stop?
That's what we're exploring today. The idea that your thoughts shape your reality. Not your circumstances, not your surroundings, but what your mind does with all of it.
And hey, before we dive deeper, we've got something special for you. We've created a free PDF guide for this episode with key vocabulary, grammar tips, reflection questions, and shadowing practice. It's perfect if you want to review and improve after listening.
You can grab it right now. Just check the link in the description. It's completely free, and it's there to help you make the most of every episode.
And of course, stay with us till the end, because Crystal will be joining you for her gentle vocabulary breakdown. She'll explain some of the most powerful words and phrases we use in today's conversation with easy examples just for you.
And honestly, you'll want to stick around for that. She always finds a way to make tough words sound simple.
Yeah, she really does. All right then,
Let's do it.
let's start with our topic for today. Your thoughts shape your reality.
Yeah. Just saying that makes me think about how many times I've let my thoughts ruin a perfectly normal moment.
Right? Like, everything's fine around you, the room's quiet, your life isn't falling apart, but your brain? It's got like 5 tabs open.
Haha, or 15.
Exactly. One tab's reminding you about that message you forgot to reply to. Another one's replaying something embarrassing from last week. And then there's always that one tab yelling, "Are you even doing enough with your life?"
Ugh, that one's always open. And the worst part? You're not even solving anything. You're just sitting there, heart racing, energy draining, stuck in this weird cloud of mental noise.
Yes. And that's why this idea, that your thoughts shape your reality, matters so much. Because if you let every thought define how you feel, then your life starts to look like whatever tab is loudest that day.
And most of the time, it's the one full of fear or self-doubt. Not truth. Just noise.
Which brings me to something I've been thinking about a lot lately. A quote that honestly changed how I see my own mind.
I know where this is going.
Hey, you know me so well. Bruce Lee once said, "Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless, like water."
That one gives me goosebumps. Because it sounds poetic. But it's real. Because water doesn't fight. It flows. It adapts.
Yeah. Pour it into a cup. It becomes the cup. Pour it into a bottle. It becomes the bottle. Water is powerful because it's flexible.
And here's the crazy part. It's not just a nice metaphor, Biologically, our brains are made up of around 70% water. So being unstable, being fluid, that's not a flaw. That's our brain's nature.
Whoa. Yeah. We keep blaming ourselves for overthinking or being inconsistent, but maybe that's just the mind doing what it's wired to do.
Exactly. Your brain wants to move. It wants to shift, explore, bounce from one thing to another. That's why controlling your thoughts feels so impossible. Because you're trying to freeze water.
But you can shape it. You can guide it. And that's where real change starts. Not by forcing your mind to be still, but by gently showing it which direction to go.
It's not about stopping the thoughts. It's about setting up the right flow. So your thoughts carry you toward your goals instead of pulling you away from them.
Yeah. And I actually noticed this in the most ordinary moment. I was sitting at my desk, trying to write something important, and I just kept staring at the screen. My brain was foggy, my body felt heavy, and everything felt hard.
Been there. You're like, I have the time. I know what I need to do. So why can't I just start?
Exactly. But then, I walked into a coffee shop later that afternoon, just for a change of space, and suddenly, I was typing like my fingers were on fire. Same task, same brain, completely different energy.
That's it. The only thing that changed was the environment.
And it made me think, maybe I'm not lazy. Maybe my thoughts just needed a different container.
Right. Like, when we say shape your thoughts, we don't mean force yourself to think differently. We mean shape the conditions around your thoughts. Because your mind responds to rhythm, to cues, to energy, not just willpower.
And once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself for every unproductive moment. You start asking better questions. Not, what's wrong with me? But, what kind of space does my mind need right now to move forward?
And that question, that's how real growth starts. Because now you're designing your mental flow instead of drowning in it.
Exactly. And when you start designing that flow, even in small ways, you begin to feel it. Your thoughts don't feel like a storm anymore. They feel like momentum, like movement.
And honestly, that's the difference between staying stuck and actually becoming the version of yourself you imagine.
You know what it reminds me of? People think success comes from motivation or talent. But half the time, it's just someone learning how to shape their mental environment and stick with it.
Yes, like the ones who wake up early to work on something quietly every day. It's not that they always feel like it. It's that they've built a flow that supports them even when they don't.
That's how discipline is born. Not from pressure, but from alignment. When your thoughts are lined up with your actions, suddenly everything feels smoother, even the hard stuff.
Yeah, it's still work. But now, it feels worth it. It feels like you're in motion, not constantly starting over.
And I think that's where confidence comes from too. Not from being perfect, but from knowing you've shaped your mind in a way that supports you instead of sabotaging you.
Whew. That part. Because when your own thoughts start cheering you on, even just a little, that's when everything changes.
When you really think about it, it's all connected. Consistency, discipline, confidence, even success. It all comes down to how you handle your thoughts.
Yeah? Like, we treat them like separate things. I need more discipline. Or, I wish I was more confident. But at the core, it's your mind. It always starts there.
Totally. Because if your thoughts are chaotic, everything else feels shaky too. But the moment your thoughts start flowing in the right direction, just a little, everything else starts to stabilize.
That's the real power. It's not about being stronger or smarter than anyone. It's about having that quiet control where you can pause, observe your thoughts, and gently shift them.
And when you do that over time, even when it's messy, that's when discipline builds. That's when you show up consistently. That's when confidence starts to grow, not from success, but from alignment.
And suddenly, life doesn't feel like a fight anymore. It feels like flow, like you're finally moving with your mind instead of being dragged around by it.
So if you're listening right now and thinking, I've been all over the place lately, you're not broken. You're just human, with a mind that moves like water.
Yeah. And maybe, instead of trying to control every thought, you just need to create a space, a rhythm, where your thoughts can flow in the right direction.
One gentle shift at a time. That's all it takes. And over time, you'll start to see it. The way you think shapes the way you feel. The way you feel shapes the way you act. And the way you act, that's what builds your life.
So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect mindset. Just start shaping the flow, one moment at a time.
And remember, even the most successful people in the world, they don't have perfect thoughts. They've just learned how to guide them. And if they can do it, you can too.
All right, deep breath out. Let that settle. And now it's time to hand things over to our favorite guide, Crystal.
She's here with her gentle vocabulary breakdown, helping you understand and remember the key words and phrases from today's episode.
All right, Crystal, take it away.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Evan. And hello again, lovely listeners. Let's take a soft pause together. You've just listened to a thoughtful conversation, one that reminds us how powerful our mind can be. Now, let's slow things down and explore a few words that help us better understand that inner world, the one we're all learning to navigate. We'll go gently, one word at a time. Let's begin with the word that describes the situations life puts us in. Circumstance. A circumstance is simply the situation or condition you're in at any moment. Example: despite her difficult circumstances, she stayed hopeful. Let's say it softly together. Despite her difficult circumstances, she stayed hopeful. Sometimes we can't control our circumstances, but we can shape how we respond. Now, here's a word we've all felt before, especially when something small becomes bigger than it should. Ruin. To ruin something means to damage it or destroy it completely. Example: the unexpected rain ruined our picnic plans. Say it gently with me. The unexpected rain ruined our picnic plans. It happens. But not everything that gets ruined stays broken. Next, let's talk about a feeling we all know too well. Embarrass. To embarrass someone means to make them feel uncomfortable, shy, or awkward, especially in front of others. Example: he was embarrassed when he forgot the lyrics during his performance. Let's repeat that. He was embarrassed when he forgot the lyrics during his performance. It's a human moment, and it passes. And sometimes that voice inside us gets louder than we want it to. Yell. To yell means to shout, often in anger or frustration or urgency. Example: she had to yell over the music to be heard. Let's say it together. She had to yell over the music to be heard. Even your thoughts can yell, but you don't always have to listen. Now let's look at a word that describes things that just don't feel quite right. Weird. When something is weird, it feels strange or different from what you expected. Not necessarily bad, just unusual. Example: he acted a little weird after the meeting, like something was bothering him. Yes, weird doesn't always mean bad. Sometimes it just means different. Let's say it gently. He acted a little weird after the meeting, like something was bothering him. Now, here's a word that brings hope, and it's my favorite. Adapt. To adapt means to adjust or change to fit new conditions. Example: when she moved to a new country, she had to adapt to the culture. Let's try it together. When she moved to a new country, she had to adapt to the culture. Adaptation is strength in motion. And speaking of strength, let's talk about something that sounds like a weakness, but really isn't. Flaw. A flaw is an imperfection, a small weakness or mistake. Example: the vase had a small crack, but that flaw made it unique. Let's say it softly. The vase had a small crack, but that flaw made it unique. Flaws are part of what make us real. Sometimes what we struggle with is not being steady. Inconsistent. To be inconsistent means not doing something in the same way each time. Example: his attendance at the gym was inconsistent, so he didn't see results. Let's say that together. His attendance at the gym was inconsistent, so he didn't see results. Inconsistency doesn't mean failure. It means you're still figuring it out. Let's look at a quiet word that holds so much meaning. Cue. A cue is a signal, something that tells you it's time to begin, shift, or act. Example: the dimming lights were a cue that the movie was about to start. Let's try that. The dimming lights were a cue that the movie was about to start. Your environment gives cues. Your body does too. It's all about listening. Now let's talk about a heavier word, one we often feel when life overwhelms us. Drown. To drown means to be overwhelmed, like being pulled underwater. Example: she felt like she was drowning in responsibilities. Let's say that gently. She felt like she was drowning in responsibilities. If you feel that way, pause, breathe. You don't have to do it all at once. Here's another one, a word that describes when we get in our own way. Sabotage. To sabotage something means to damage it, sometimes without meaning to. Example: he sabotaged his own progress by giving up too early. Let's say it together. He sabotaged his own progress by giving up too early. We've all done this. What matters is noticing it and trying again. And finally, let's end with a word that many of us feel, but don't always name. Chaotic. Something chaotic feels messy, disorganized, or out of control. Example: her schedule became chaotic after the new project started. Let's say it softly. Her schedule became chaotic after the new project started. It's okay if your thoughts feel chaotic sometimes. That's why we practice gentleness. These words don't just help you learn English. They help you name your experience and understand yourself a little better. So say them, practice them, carry them gently. And when life feels loud, or weird, or chaotic, come back here. You're never alone in this journey. Until next time, I'm Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal. And thank you to everyone listening today.
We hope this episode gave you something to hold on to and something to grow with.
Take care of your thoughts, and they'll take care of you.
We'll see you in the next one.
Until then, take care, and goodbye.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey there, English learners! Welcome back to the English Leap Podcast, your go-to podcast for learning English in a way that's easy, enjoyable, and helps you grow beyond just language skills. I'm Erin.
And I'm Evan. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been part of our journey for a while, we're so glad you're here. Because today's topic is something that affects all of us, no matter where we're from or what language we speak.
You know, Evan, I've lost count of how many times I've walked away from a conversation thinking, why did I say that? Or, I should have said something. It's like my brain just shut down when I needed it most.
Oh, I get that. It's like you want to say something meaningful or even just normal, but instead you end up overthinking, second-guessing yourself, and feeling like you missed your chance.
Totally. And here's the truth. So many of us go through this, especially when we're trying to speak English confidently. But what if having great conversations wasn't about being perfect, but about being prepared and present?
That's what we're unpacking today. Real, practical ways to make conversations easier, smoother, and more enjoyable. Whether you're speaking English with friends, strangers, or acquaintances, we've got strategies that work.
And don't forget, we've created a free PDF guide for today's episode packed with key takeaways, comprehension questions, and grammar practice to help you apply everything we're sharing today.
Plus, stay tuned for Charlotte's vocabulary section where she'll explain some of the intermediate-level words we've used today, so you can sound more natural and confident when you speak. So, Erin, let's get into it. Let's not keep our listeners waiting. We've got a lot of good stuff to unpack today.
Yes, we do. And I want to start with something really personal. For a long time, I used to feel nervous in conversations, especially with people I thought were more successful or confident than me. I'd worry, do I even belong here?
Oh yes, I've had that feeling. It's like we start to compare ourselves, and suddenly we feel intimidated before we even say a word.
Totally get that. But one thing really helped me was dropping that whole who's better mindset. Now I tell myself, no one's above me and I'm not above anyone else. We're all just people. That simple shift makes starting a conversation feel way less scary.
Yeah, that shift in mindset is powerful. It lets you just be yourself without trying to impress or hide. You meet people as equals.
Yes. And to our listeners, especially those learning English, remember this. Native speakers are not above you. Don't see conversations as a test. You're not performing, you're connecting. Even native speakers stumble sometimes. You belong in the conversation just as much as anyone else.
I love that. And once I stopped overthinking my worth, the next hurdle was knowing what to say. Ever get asked, "How's your week?" and your mind just goes blank?
All the time. I'd be like, good? And then panic. Then I realized I never thought ahead about what I might want to share.
Same here. Now, before I head out, I just do a quick mental check. What's been going on this week? Did I learn something cool? Try anything new? Just having a couple of highlights ready makes conversations so much easier.
Totally agree. I also write things down in a journal, just everyday stuff. It helps me recall interesting things when someone asks, "So what's new with you?"
Yes, that's a game changer. And if you're someone learning to speak in English, this trick is golden. Think about a show you watched, a fun activity, or even how your day's been, and practice talking about it in English. That way you're not caught off guard.
And even if you didn't prep, no problem. Sometimes the best way to start is just noticing what's around you.
Oh yeah, I once kicked off a conversation just by saying, "Wow, the line's long today." That tiny comment led to a great chat.
Yes, observing something you both share in the moment makes it feel natural, not forced. You're not searching for the perfect topic, you're just reacting to what's in front of you.
Exactly. And the beauty is, it works anywhere. At a cafe, in a class, at the gym. Noticing your surroundings and turning it into a simple comment can instantly open the door.
And for anyone practicing English, this is such a useful tool. You don't need fancy words, just observe and ask. Like, have you been here before? Or, I love your jacket. Where did you get it?
Yeah, it's all about finding common ground. The goal isn't to impress, it's to connect. And sometimes, that one simple line is all it takes to break the ice and let the conversation flow.
And here's something we often forget. Talking is a skill. The more you use it, the better it feels.
Absolutely. I used to avoid random chats because I felt awkward. But once I started trying even quick hellos, it got easier.
Totally. Think of it like exercise. The more you do it, the more comfortable and confident you become. Little steps make a big difference.
And if you're improving your English, aim for little moments. Ask someone the time, order food, say thank you. Each small action builds fluency over time.
And here's the best part. Mistakes are part of the process. Don't worry about them. Focus on showing up.
So true. Aaron, you know what else really helps for getting better at conversations? Being a good listener. It's not about saying more, it's about hearing more.
Absolutely. When I listen with curiosity, people really open up. It makes the conversation feel more real and relaxed.
Yeah, and I've found that just repeating a little of what someone said, like, "Oh, so you went hiking last weekend?" shows you care, and it keeps things flowing naturally.
Right. And when you focus on truly listening, you're not overthinking your next sentence. You're just in the moment, and that takes the pressure off.
And if you're learning English, this can really make a difference. Listening closely helps you understand better and gives you ideas for what to say next. Try simple responses like, "That's cool," or "Really? Tell me more." These let you stay part of the conversation without stress.
Yes. You don't need perfect words. Just be present. People don't need you to impress them. They just want to feel heard.
Aaron, now that we've covered how to talk to strangers, let's take it a step further, because not all conversations feel the same, right?
Right. Talking to strangers can be exciting because it's a fresh start. But acquaintances, that's where it can get tricky. You've met them, but you might not remember all the details. I used to overthink those interactions.
Same here. Now I just treat it like a clean slate. Ask a simple question or mention something familiar, like, "Hey, how's that project going?" It takes the pressure off.
And then with friends, conversation feels natural. You know their style, you've got shared memories, and you can just relax and enjoy it.
Exactly. And for those improving their English, adjust your confidence level. Strangers? Great for practice. Acquaintances? A chance to reconnect. Friends? Be yourself, even if your English isn't perfect.
And you know what helps grow these connections? Regular, real conversations. I picture it like this. Every chat adds a little snow to your relationship.
Love that. Like you're using an ice pick. Each question reveals more of the person. Sometimes you get a tiny snowflake, sometimes a whole avalanche of stories.
Exactly. And when you keep gathering that snow, it becomes a snowball. Small ones are your acquaintances, bigger ones are your friends. The more you chat, the more that snowball grows.
But if you leave it too long, that snow melts. So stay in touch. A quick message or simple check-in helps keep relationships alive.
And for our listeners learning English, every conversation is progress. Don't wait for perfect English. Keep the snowball rolling with little talks.
Now, Aaron, what about when a conversation just isn't working?
Oh yeah, that happens. And that's where a graceful exit comes in. My go-to? I'm gonna grab a drink, but it's been lovely chatting. Simple and friendly.
Mine's, "I need to step away for a bit. Great talking with you." Leaves things on a good note.
And for English speakers in progress, Learn a few exit lines. It helps you end chats politely and confidently.
Before we wrap up, let's throw in some pro tips for all conversations.
First, be present. Don't stress about perfect replies. Just focus on the person.
Yes. And paraphrase what they say. Like, so you started a new job? It shows you're listening and makes the conversation flow.
Also, have a few topics you enjoy ready. Food, music, travel. These are easy ways to connect.
And remember, acquaintances matter. They help expand your social circle and bring new opportunities. Keep those connections warm.
And that brings us to one of our favorite parts of the episode.
Charlotte's vocabulary section. She's here to help you level up your English with some of the intermediate words and phrases we use today.
So grab your notes. This is where it all comes together. Take it away, Charlotte.
Thanks, Erin. Hey, friends. It's time to boost your English. Let's dive into some of the intermediate level words and phrases from today's episode to help you sound more natural and confident when you speak. Let's get started. Intimidated, meaning feeling nervous or afraid because someone or something seems more powerful, confident, or important. Example, I felt intimidated speaking to my boss for the first time. Engage, meaning to take part in or become involved in something actively. Example, she engaged in the conversation by asking great questions. Caught off guard, meaning surprised or unprepared for something unexpected. Example, I was caught off guard when he suddenly asked me to give a speech. Kicked off, meaning to start or begin something. Example, we kicked off the meeting with a quick game. Curiosity, meaning a strong desire to know or learn something. Example, his curiosity about other cultures helped him make new friends. Acquaintances, meaning people you know slightly, but not very well, between strangers and friends. Example, I have a few acquaintances at work, but only one close friend. Second guessing, meaning doubting or questioning a decision you already made. Example, after sending the message, I started second-guessing my words. Paraphrase, meaning to repeat what someone said using different words to show understanding. Example, I paraphrased his idea to make sure I understood it correctly. Icebreaker, meaning a simple comment or question that helps start a conversation. Example, I used a joke as an icebreaker to relax the group. Step away, meaning to leave a place or situation for a short time. Example, I need to step away for a bit, but I'll be back soon. That's it for today's vocabulary. Try using a few of these words in your conversations this week. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. See you next time.
Thanks, Charlotte. That was super helpful. Those words really make conversations smoother and more natural.
Absolutely. And listeners, we hope this episode gave you the confidence to start more conversations and enjoy them, whether it's with a stranger, an acquaintance, or a friend.
And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about connecting. Just take that first step and let your voice be heard.
Thanks for joining us on the English Leap podcast. We'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep talking.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Leap podcast. I'm Erin, and wherever you're listening from today, we're so glad you're here.
And I'm Evan. Whether you're out for a walk, on the way to work, or just taking a quiet moment to yourself, thank you for pressing play. Today's episode might change how you think about fluency forever.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right but still not moving forward in English? You're listening to podcasts, watching videos, spending time with English every day. But when it's your turn to speak, your mind just goes blank?
Yeah. It's like you're on a treadmill, working hard, sweating even, but not going anywhere. And you start to wonder, is this even working? Am I ever going to feel fluent?
If that sounds like you, take a deep breath. You're not alone. We get so many comments from learners just like you. Some say, I'm improving slowly, day by day. Others say, I'm listening a lot, but nothing is changing. And both are valid, because the journey looks different for everyone.
But here's what we know for sure. Just because it doesn't feel fast doesn't mean it's not working. Learning English is like watching the sunrise. You sit in the dark for a while, wondering when the light will come. And then slowly, almost without noticing, everything starts to glow.
And this episode, it's for every one of you still showing up, still listening, still trying. We're going to talk about something that might completely change how you look at fluency and why the thing you're already doing every day might be the most powerful skill of all.
Also, don't forget to grab the free PDF we made for this episode. It's full of practice exercises, reflection questions, and extra support to help you go deeper after the episode ends.
And of course, Charlotte will join us near the end for her vocabulary breakdown. She'll walk you through some beautiful, useful words from today's episode, with examples and repetition you can speak along with.
So let's begin. No pressure, no rush. Just one honest question to open this up.
Yeah. Which comes first, speaking or listening? It seems like a simple question, but your answer can completely shift how you learn English.
It sounds obvious, but most of us underrate it.
And here's the truth. Fluency always begins with the ear, not the mouth. You can't speak what you've never truly heard. Trying to speak without enough listening is like trying to write music without ever hearing a melody. You're guessing. You're forcing it. And that's where frustration comes from.
Think about babies. They don't learn by repeating textbook grammar. They spend months just listening, absorbing patterns, sounds, tone, long before they say a single word. And when they finally speak, it's not because they studied. It's because they've already heard it all 1,000 times.
But many adult learners skip that phase. We get impatient. We want to speak fast, without giving our ears the time to tune in. And that's where fluency starts to feel like a struggle. So today, we're slowing things down and guiding you back to the foundation of it all. Deep, meaningful listening.
And we're not just saying, listen more. We're going to show you how to listen in a way that builds fluency naturally. So let's start with our first powerful shift.
Tip number 1. Listen in layers. Too many learners treat listening like a test. You play the audio once, try to understand every word, and feel defeated if you don't. But real listening, the kind that helps you grow, isn't about perfection. It's about purpose.
So here's the approach. Break one audio clip into 3 simple layers. First, just listen for the gist. What's the topic? What's the overall mood or idea? Don't pause. Don't stress. Just let it wash over you.
Then, go back and listen again. But now, focus on structure. How are sentences built? What tense is being used? What's the rhythm of their speech?
And finally, listen a third time, slowly. This time, pay attention to word choice, emotion, and intonation. Notice the tone. Did their voice rise at the end of a question? Did they sound curious, sarcastic, tired?
Same audio, 3 different goals. And the result? You train your brain to pick up layers of language, not just meaning, but feeling. And that's what fluency really is.
And once your ears are tuned in, like that, the natural next step is speaking, right?
Well, not just yet.
Right. A lot of learners jump straight from listening to mimicking and end up sounding robotic or unsure.
That's why our second tip is shadow with silence first. Before you try to repeat after native speakers, Give yourself space to feel the language without pressure.
Think of it like music. You don't sing along with a new song the first time you hear it. You listen. You absorb the melody. You catch the rhythm. Then you hum. Then you sing. It's the same with English.
So when you're shadowing, try this. Play the sentence. Pause. And instead of rushing to repeat it, just sit with it for a moment. Because as we discussed earlier, the key is to listen in layers. First for meaning, then for rhythm. And now, in this moment, for feel. Shadowing works best when it builds on those layers, not skips over them.
Yes. Let your brain dance with the rhythm of English before you echo it. This creates natural speech, not memorized phrases.
Shadowing works best when it's grounded in real emotional listening. Silence isn't empty, it's preparation. But none of these techniques matter if you only do them once in a while. And that brings us to tip number 3. Create a daily listening ritual.
The key word here is ritual, not just a habit, not just an activity. A ritual is something you protect. It has meaning. It's that small window of your day that belongs only to your growth.
When I was learning English, I made a promise to myself. No matter what happens today, I'll give just 15 minutes to English listening. Not multitasking, not half listening. Just me, my headphones, and a voice that pulled me into the language. Over time, that small promise became a powerful habit.
And the best part is, you don't need an hour, even 10 minutes, while brushing your teeth, making tea, or walking to work, can shape your brain. What matters isn't how long you listen, it's how often. Ritual brings rhythm, and rhythm brings fluency.
So choose your moment. Maybe it's your morning walk. Maybe it's your wind-down time before bed. Whatever it is, make listening your quiet, daily practice. Let it become your anchor.
And once that ritual becomes part of you, there's one challenge most learners face next. What should I listen to? And that brings us to the next tip. Tip number 4, curate with intention. Don't consume everything.
Exactly. We live in a world where there's too much to listen to. Podcasts, YouTube, stories, interviews, audiobooks, reels. It's endless. And while that might sound exciting, it can actually leave you paralyzed.
I've been there, opening 5 videos, never finishing one, jumping between accents, styles, topics, thinking I was being productive. But actually, I was just overwhelming myself. It's content overload, and honestly, it drains your focus more than it feeds your growth.
That's why the answer isn't to do more. It's to choose better. Pick 1 or 2 English sources that you genuinely enjoy, something that feels familiar, something you can return to again and again without pressure, because depth builds understanding, and repetition builds fluency.
It's like a garden. You can't water every plant in the world, but you can care deeply for just a few and watch them bloom. Same with listening. Go deep, not wide. Familiarity builds fluency. Your brain relaxes. It starts to recognize rhythms, phrases, even personality.
So instead of chasing something new every day, choose your core input. A podcast you like, a YouTube channel that makes you smile, even this show. Let that be your home base, your safe zone for daily exposure.
And then, once that foundation is strong, once your ears feel comfortable, there's one more thing you must do to grow beyond your bubble.
Tip number 5. Listen across contexts. Because English in the real world doesn't sound like a classroom. It's fast. It's messy. It's full of personality.
Wait. I know what you're thinking. Didn't you just tell me to curate my content and not listen to everything at once?
Exactly. And you're right to catch that. But here's the thing. Those 2 tips aren't opposites. They're phases. First, you need consistency. Familiar voices, familiar styles, to help your brain feel safe and steady. But once you've built that foundation, now it's time to stretch.
I remember the first time I tried to watch an unscripted interview between two comedians. They were laughing, interrupting each other, finishing each other's sentences. And I just sat there, frozen. I understood nothing.
Because real-world English isn't one accent, one tone, one topic. It's interviews, arguments, laughter, sarcasm, mumbling, emotion, pauses, overlaps, all of it. If you only listen in one style, your ears stay inside a bubble, and fluency doesn't live there.
So once you feel comfortable, intentionally step into different contexts. Start exploring. Watch a vlog. Listen to an emotional speech. Try a news story, then switch to a comedy podcast.
Think of it like going to the gym. At first, you train with light weights, controlled movements. But eventually, to grow stronger, you challenge your balance, speed, and flexibility. Same goes for your ears.
The goal isn't to understand everything at once. It's to expand your ears, to teach your brain that English isn't one size fits all, and that you can keep up even when it's fast and imperfect. Because in the real world, English won't slow down. But if you've trained your ears across different voices and settings, you won't need it to. Yes, that's the power of listening. It shapes how you speak, how you understand, and how confident you feel. And to help you take today's episode even further,
It's time to slow things down, just a little, and let Charlotte guide you through some of the beautiful vocabulary we explored today.
Charlotte, the mic is yours.
Thanks, Evan. All right, my friends, let's take a moment to slow things down and soak up some beautiful vocabulary from today's episode. These are words and expressions you may have heard, but now we'll make them yours. Underrate. To underrate something means to think it's less important or valuable than it really is. Example: most people underrate how powerful listening can be. Repeat with me. Most people underrate how powerful listening can be. Impatient. If you're impatient, you want things to happen fast and feel frustrated when they don't. Example: many learners get impatient when fluency takes time. Let's try it together. Many learners get impatient when fluency takes time. Overwhelm. To overwhelm means to feel like there's too much happening, too many things, emotions, or thoughts. Example: all that content online can overwhelm your brain. Say it with me. All that content online can overwhelm your brain. Curate. To curate means to carefully choose or organize things like a playlist or your English learning materials. Example: curate your input so your brain doesn't get tired. Repeat that. Curate your input so your brain doesn't get tired. Paralyze. Here, paralyze means to feel so overwhelmed or unsure that you can't act or decide. Example: too many options can mentally paralyze you. Let's say it together. Too many options can mentally paralyze you. Anchor. An anchor is something strong and steady, something that keeps you grounded. Example: make your listening ritual the anchor of your learning. Try this. Make your listening ritual the anchor of your learning. Mimic. To mimic means to copy how someone speaks or behaves, like shadowing a native speaker. Example: don't mimic too fast. Feel the rhythm first. Say it softly. Don't mimic too fast. Feel the rhythm first. Let it wash over you. This phrase means just listen without trying to catch every word. Relax and absorb. Example: play the audio and let it wash over you. Breathe and repeat. Play the audio and let it wash over you. Grow beyond your bubble. To grow beyond your bubble means to go outside your comfort zone, try new things. Example: listen to different styles to grow beyond your bubble. Try this one. Listen to different styles to grow beyond your bubble. One size fits all. This phrase describes something designed for everyone, but it usually doesn't work perfectly for anyone. Example: fluency isn't one size fits all. Your journey is unique. Repeat with me. Fluency isn't one size fits all. Your journey is unique. Wonderful. Say these aloud. Say them gently. The more you hear them and say them, the more they'll live in your voice. Till next time, keep listening and keep growing.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. Those words, and the way you explain them, always make them easier to remember and even easier to use.
Yeah, and if you're listening right now and thinking, wow, I actually understood more than I thought I would, that is progress. That's fluency growing in the background.
So keep showing up. Keep listening. Even on the days when it feels slow, remember, your ears are learning more than you realize.
All right, friends, that's it for today.
We'll see you in the next episode of the English Leap podcast. And until then,
keep listening. Keep leaping. Bye for now.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.